Coins from almost any era can provide an insightful look into what different civilizations and societies considered culturally significant. Coin collecting can be a fun and enriching hobby, especially if you know what you're hunting for. But not all valuable and rare coins are from past periods of history. Quite a few coins that have fetched thousands or even millions of dollars at auction are actually ones still in circulation. Join FactsVerse as we take a look at some of these hard-to-find U.S. coins. 1932, 64 silver quarters. During the 1930s, quarters were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. That metallurgic composition gave them a gorgeous appearance and obviously drove up their value to collectors and smelters alike. A ton of quarters were minted during this era, so if you want to find the ones that are worth the most, you'll want to keep your eyes out for the ones that are in the most pristine condition. A coin shop typically uses the value of the silver itself to give the base value for a coin, but it should be noted it's actually against the law to melt down U.S. currency. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to FactsVerse for more, and stick around for a lot more valuable coins. 1909 S VDB Lincoln Penny. This penny is considered to be one of the most popular and best-known Lincoln penny ever minted. It's no wonder then that this cent recently racked up 36 bids when it was auctioned off on eBay. The winning bidder from New Jersey ended up paying $1,153 when it sold a couple months ago. The coin is especially coveted and rare, seeing how its designer, Victor David Brenner, included his own initials into its design. But not everyone was thrilled he left his mark on the currency, and the initials were removed from the coin not long after its first run. Even so, approximately 480,000 coins were made bearing the controversial mark. 1937 Buffalo Nickel. Recently on eBay, a rare and sought-after Buffalo nickel, minted in 1937, sold for an eye-catching $1,400. If you happen to find one of these bad boys in your loose change, you too could turn a pretty decent profit. This especially hard-to-come-across 5-cent piece features an image of a buffalo with 3 legs on one side and the image of a Native American on the reverse side. It was minted in Denver, Colorado, and very few of the coins are believed to still be in circulation. The coin managed to rack up a total of 29 bids when it went up for auction. The final selling price was 28,000 times the original value of the nickel. 2005 Kansas State Quarter. This rare coin bears the somewhat humorous typo "In God We Rust," which has sent its value through the ceiling. According to modern legend, a drip of grease fell into the die when these coins were being minted, which resulted in a few coins to come out with the T in the famous slogan, "In God We Trust," to appear more like the letter R. This iconic phrase invoking a higher power has been featured on all pieces of U.S. currency since the 1950s. But if you're lucky enough to find one of these quarters, which bears this comical typo, you might be able to exchange it for $100 to the right collector. 1966 Roosevelt Silver Dime. In the 60s, America was moving away from making dimes out of mostly silver to the nickel and copper composition they're made of today. During this period of transition, a few silver dimes were minted by accident using the wrong metals and dye. This flub resulted in a handful of dimes minted that were slightly heavier than they were supposed to be. If you happen to own a very sensitive digital scale, you'll find some of the dimes produced in 1964 weigh 2.5 grams, while others weigh 0.1 grams more. These error dimes are exceedingly hard to find, and only a few examples have been documented. They can be worth up to $7,000 depending on condition. 1918 Buffalo Nickel. During the First World War, the U.S. economy was almost entirely focused on the war effort. This affected coinage in the way that fewer coins were printed. These 1918 Buffalo nickels reflect this cost-cutting strategy, and they are exceptionally rare, but quality is especially important when determining their value. Every last one entered into circulation, which means there are none in existence today in perfect uncirculated condition. But if you happen to stumble upon one in reasonably decent condition, it could be worth as much as $125,000. 1965 Washington Quarter Error Coin. Recently, a super rare Washington quarter was sold at auction for more than $500. It was accidentally struck on a 10-cent silver planchet. When one was auctioned off on eBay, it managed to rack up 25 bids before finally selling to the highest bidder on August 15, 2021 for $545. The coin had initially been listed by its seller from Montana for $1. 1794 Flowing Hair 50-cent piece. Another coin recently sold on eBay for a small fortune was this rare 50-cent coin minted in 1794. After racking up 63 bids, this flowing hair half-dollar piece, which was actually the first incarnation of the denomination to ever be struck, sold for $7,777 in August. To be fair, just because it's technically still in circulation, you'd be hard-pressed to find one lying around. Given its strikingly notable appearance, any that are still in existence are more than likely kept under lock and key by knowledgeable collectors. 1870 Seated Liberty Dollar Coin. Here's a great example of a coin that's gone up in value at an exponential rate over the years without having been mint in error. The artwork featured on this uncommon coin makes it particularly aesthetically appealing and thus has inspired many investors to want it for their personal collections. The coin's obverse face depicts Old Lady Liberty in a seated position while wearing a flowing gown and holding the nation's flag and shield of liberty in her hands. The crown is adorned with 13 stars representing the original 13 U.S. colonies. Since it's not the most rare coin out there, its condition once again plays a huge part in determining its value. But it's been known to fetch between $500 to $5,000 at auction. 1927D Double Eagle. This $20 gold coin had 180,000 made during its minting. In 1928, however, when the coins were being sold, the economy was in freefall, and no one seemed to be that interested in purchasing gold coins from the government because, frankly, they couldn't afford it. Then, in 1933, all gold was recalled in the entire nation, and it became illegal for a stint to even own gold. So by this time, it's conceivable the majority of the original coins produced were collecting dust in the vaults at the Treasury, and it's likely most of them were eventually melted down for their intrinsic value. But several of these coins managed to survive, and today they're one of the rarest coins sought after by collectors. It's estimated these precious gold coins are valued upwards of $1.3 million. 1919 Liberty Head Nickel. In 1913, the Liberty Head nickel swiftly replaced the old Buffalo nickel design, and according to records from the U.S. Mint, no Liberty nickels were produced during 1914, the year that saw the start of World War I. A few years later, however, an eagle-eyed coin collector discovered 5 specimens of this coin, which was previously thought non-existent. It was later speculated this collector, Samuel Brown, had actually worked at the mint and had clandestinely and unscrupulously snuck them out. Other theories present an alternative view. It's plausible they were actually struck sometime during the latter half of 1912 as some sort of practice run to gear up for the following year. Regardless, these nickels are about as rare as they come, and they've been sold at auction in recent years for around $5 million apiece. 1794 Silver Dollar. Last but not least, we have this stammeringly rare and valuable U.S. coin that virtually every collector knows about. There were only 200 of these ever made, and that was more than 2 centuries ago, so very few are known to be in existence. The artwork on the head side features Lady Liberty with her distinct flowing hair and eyes raised towards the cosmos. It was also, much like that flowing hair 50-cent piece, actually the first dollar coin to ever be minted in the U.S. These coins, which are pretty much impossible to find at this point, are estimated to be worth as much as $10 million. Now it's time to hear from you. Are you planning to look through all your change to see if you have any rare ones in your collection? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.